Hello, this is Xiaocun Xu. I'm giving a demo for project 2. So first scenario, list all the gradebook. It shouldn't return nothing on primary server and the secondary server. Now I'm gonna create the first gradebook called Math 101. Create a post. Now it's on the primary server, but it doesn't have any copy on the secondary server. Then I'm going to create second gradebook. Now it shouldn't have anything on secondary server. And right now, for the rest of scenario 3, I will be copying the second gradebook. So as for clarity, the ID of the second gradebook is 24. So I'm going to use it in here to copy. Before I do copy, let's check secondary server again. Doesn't have any copy. After copying second gradebook, it should show up on the secondary server. Now I'm gonna create a third gradebook. Again, let's check the primary server. It doesn't have a Math 103, so it's for secondary server. Now we are going to create this third gradebook. Let's check primary server again. There we go. It doesn't have any copy, so I will be copying the third gradebook. ID is 25. Now there's a copy for third gradebook on the secondary server. So for scenario 5, I'm gonna create 2 students. On the first gradebook, whose ID is 23. So I'm gonna change the ID of the gradebook. Before I hit send, just want to check if there is anything on the first gradebook on primary server. Let's check it real quick. It doesn't have anything right now. Let's do the same on the secondary server. No, it doesn't have anything as well. So create first student, then let's check. Here is the result for first student. I'm gonna create a second student on the first gradebook. Again, the ID is 23. Let's check it. Again, there's nothing on secondary server as well. So now I'm going to create 2 students on second gradebook. So let's take a look at the gradebook information. The second gradebook's ID is 24. So I will be copying this. Hold on, 24. Let's go check out the student record on second gradebook. There we are. We can do the same for the second gradebook on secondary server. Now we are creating second student on the second gradebook. It should have everything on both server now. S21, S22. For scenario number 7, going to update the first student on the first gradebook. Let's go back, check if everything is still the same. Doesn't have anything as secondary server. As number 11. Now the grade is A. After changing the grade, it will be C. You should expect. Three. Now the grade for S11 is C. Again, there's nothing on secondary server. So now I will be updating student S21. The result should be affected. I mean, the roles affected should be on primary and secondary server. Before we do it, let's check the record again. The ID for second grade book is 24. On primary server. Now the grade is A. After changing the grade for S21, you should see the C grade. 24. We should see the changes on both servers. Now it's C. Now I'm gonna be deleting student 11. It's on the first gradebook, so I'm going to go back to check the record before I delete it. Nothing on secondary server as well. So 23. Delete. Now the record for student 11 is gone. Oh, I forgot to check on secondary server. Now I'm gonna delete student 21. The expected result should be S22 will be deleted on both servers. I'm gonna copy this address. Second gradebook 24. Now I will be deleting student 21 on both servers. Let's check the record again. Now student 21 is gone. Scenario 11, I will be removing the third gradebook on the secondary. Let's take a look at how many gradebooks we have right now on both servers. So there's 3 gradebook on primary and 2 on the secondary. And we are removing the third one. The ID for third gradebook is 25. So deleting from secondary server shouldn't affect on shouldn't give have any effect on primary server. So third gradebook is still on primary server. Now third gradebook doesn't exist on secondary server. So moving on to scenario number 12, we will be deleting the third gradebook again. See what's gonna happen. Let's do it again. Check the record. Nothing happened. So for scenario number 13, I will be deleting the second gradebook from primary server this time. Again, let's check the record for both servers. Okay. What is happening? Okay. So deleting the second gradebook from primary server should have an effect on both servers. So after this, we shouldn't see anything about the second gradebook from both servers. In this case, gradebook 24 should be gone from primary server. After deleting it, secondary server shouldn't have nothing. Check the ID of gradebook number 2. Delete. Check the record again. Now the second gradebook is gone for both servers.